10 heart-healthy foods every adult over 60 should eat. When people think about protecting their heart, they often imagine expensive supplements, complicated medications, or intense workout routines. But in reality, taking care of your heart doesn't always have to be that complicated. Sometimes, the biggest difference comes from the everyday foods you choose to put on your plate. Before we begin, a quick reminder. This video is for general educational purposes only. It isn't meant to replace medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have a medical condition or you're taking prescription medications, it's always a good idea to speak with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet. As we get older, especially after the age of 60, our bodies naturally begin to change. Blood vessels aren't quite as flexible as they once were. The heart has to work a little harder, metabolism slows down, and the body's response to inflammation shifts over time. These changes are a normal part of aging, but they don't mean you're powerless. Over the years, scientists have discovered that certain nutrients can help support the heart, and may even slow down some of these age-related changes. In fact, one of the foods we'll cover later in this video belongs to a group that many researchers consider to be one of nature's quiet protectors. It's not as famous as some of the others, but its potential benefits are surprisingly impressive, which is exactly why we've saved it for later. Now, this isn't another video claiming that one magical superfood can solve everything. Heart health simply doesn't work that way. Instead, we're looking at 10 different foods, each supporting your cardiovascular system in its own unique way. Some help maintain healthier cholesterol levels. Others support healthy blood pressure, while a few help calm inflammation that can gradually build up inside your arteries. And that's actually the beauty of it. You don't have to rely on just one food. By including a variety of heart-friendly foods in your daily meals, you give your body multiple ways to protect itself over time. So let's dive in and explore these 10 foods, one by one, and see how each of them can help keep your heart healthier for years to come. Number 1. Fatty fish. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout are rich sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 is a type of fat that can help reduce inflammation on the inner lining of blood vessels, which in turn may help keep arteries more flexible over time. Some research also suggests that omega-3 may help balance the blood's tendency to clot and may reduce the risk of certain irregular heart rhythms. The story of 82-year-old Robert is a good example here. After years of following a diet heavy in red meat, Robert started eating salmon twice a week on his doctor's recommendation. A few months later, during a routine checkup, he noticed a positive shift in his cholesterol numbers, and he says how easy this small change turned out to be for him. Of course, individual stories like this aren't proof on their own, but when you look at them alongside large-scale research, they help paint a clearer picture of the role fish can play in heart health. Eating at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week is a habit that many nutrition experts recommend for heart health. When fresh fish is hard to find, frozen or canned options can preserve similar nutritional value, which can make this habit easier to stick with long-term. Baking, steaming, or lightly grilling fish tends to preserve more of its nutritional value compared to frying. Some nutrition experts note that swapping red meat for fish in your weekly meal plan may contribute to a positive shift in certain markers linked to arterial stiffness, especially in adults over 60. Of course, this doesn't mean fish will eliminate every heart problem, but it can be a powerful part of a balanced diet. Number 2. Dark leafy greens. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and arugula are rich in potassium, nitrates, magnesium, and various antioxidants. Potassium can help maintain the body's sodium balance, and that balance plays an important role in keeping blood pressure under control. In addition, the natural nitrates found in these vegetables convert into nitric oxide in the body, which can help support the relaxation of blood vessels, making it easier for blood to flow. For aging arteries, this kind of natural support mechanism can be especially valuable, because maintaining vascular flexibility through non-drug approaches can improve overall quality of life over the long run. Betty, a 77-year-old patient, says that for years she thought of vegetables as nothing more than a garnish. But after her dietitian suggested adding a handful of fresh spinach or steamed greens to her daily meals, she began to feel both more energetic and lighter. Eating leafy greens raw in salads is just as effective a way to preserve their nutritional value as lightly steaming them. Overcooking can cause certain vitamins to break down, so short cooking times at low heat are generally preferred. For anyone looking to add more variety to their meals, rotating through different leafy greens can both enrich your menu and make it easier to benefit from a wider range of nutrients. Number 3. Oats. Oats are a whole grain rich in soluble fiber, and this type of fiber can help bind cholesterol in the digestive system so it's removed from the body. Scientists have long studied the role oats play in balancing levels of low-density lipoprotein, commonly known as bad cholesterol. 84-year-old Margaret made a habit years ago of starting her day with a bowl of oatmeal, and she says she finds it both practical and satisfying. According to Margaret, this simple breakfast routine keeps her full until lunchtime and reduces her urge to snack. Another advantage of oats is that they raise blood sugar slowly and steadily, which can help keep energy levels more stable throughout the day. Oats are also a flexible food that can easily be enhanced with cinnamon, fruit, or nuts, which makes it a habit that's easy to sustain without getting bored of it over the long term. It might look like a simple breakfast change, but eaten regularly, it can make a meaningful difference for heart health. The 3 foods we've covered so far can be thought of as basic building blocks that directly support the heart. They can be effective from different angles: arterial flexibility, cholesterol balance, and inflammation control. But the rest of the list includes options that are often easy to overlook in daily life, even though their impact can be quite powerful. Number 4. Legumes. Lentils, chickpeas, dried beans, and pinto beans are valuable for heart health because of their combination of plant-based protein and high fiber content. Regularly eating legumes in place of red meat can help reduce your intake of saturated fat, which can benefit the cardiovascular system over the long term. On top of that, the soluble fiber in legumes can increase feelings of fullness, which supports weight management, and excess weight is known to be one of the factors that can increase strain on the heart. Legumes also have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't cause a sudden spike in blood sugar, which can be an advantage for adults who want to maintain metabolic balance. 75-year-old Harold, on his doctor's advice, started replacing red meat with lentil soup or chickpea dishes 3 times a week, and he says with a smile that this change has had a positive effect on his budget too. Adding lentil soup, chickpea dishes, or bean salad to your meals a few times a week can be both an economical and sustainable dietary change. Another advantage of legumes is that they store well and can easily be added to a wide variety of dishes, which makes them both practical and budget-friendly. Rinsing dried or canned legumes thoroughly before using them can help reduce their sodium content. Number 5. Nuts. Raw, unsalted nuts like walnuts, almonds, and hazelnuts contain healthy fats, fiber, and a variety of plant compounds. The type of omega-3 found in walnuts has a different structure than the kind found in fish, but it can still offer properties that support vascular health in a similar way. Almonds and hazelnuts are rich in vitamin E and magnesium, minerals that are also thought to contribute to healthy, regular heart muscle function. 79-year-old Frank used to reach for potato chips and salty crackers as his go-to snack for years, until his grandson suggested he swap them out for a handful of raw almonds instead. Frank says this small change has made him feel better overall, and it even showed up as a difference in his routine blood test results. Of course, portion control matters here, because nuts are quite calorie-dense, and overeating them can work against the very benefit you're trying to get. A daily serving of about 1 handful is considered a reasonable and balanced amount by most health experts. Choosing raw or lightly roasted, unsalted nuts is a simple way to avoid excess sodium, since packaged and salted varieties can be quite high in sodium, which can negatively affect blood pressure. A spoonful of nuts added to a salad, a bowl of oatmeal, or yogurt can add both texture and flavor while enriching your meals. Number 6. Olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, and it's long been a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, drawing significant interest from scientists. This type of oil also contains antioxidants called polyphenols, which can support the health of blood vessels. Using olive oil in place of other cooking oils can be a simple but effective change that helps reduce inflammation in the artery walls. Some research shows that regularly consuming olive oil may have a positive effect on blood pressure and cholesterol balance, though the size of that effect can vary depending on a person's overall diet. Choosing olive oil over butter or margarine in salads, vegetable dishes, or light cooking is a practical habit that can easily be worked into your daily diet. Choosing unrefined, cold-pressed olive oil can help preserve more of its beneficial compounds, since heavy processing can cause some antioxidants to be lost. 78-year-old patient Nancy says that after swapping out the sunflower oil she'd used in her kitchen for years in favor of olive oil, she noticed both a change in the flavor of her meals and a greater sense of eating more mindfully. A small bottle of quality olive oil can be thought of as a long-term investment sitting right there in your kitchen cabinet. At this point in the list, the remaining foods might seem ordinary at first glance. But eaten regularly, they can have a far greater impact on heart health than you'd expect. And we're getting closer now to that special food we mentioned at the start of the video. Number 7. Blueberries and other red berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries contain powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins. These compounds can help balance out a process known as oxidative stress, which over time can damage the walls of blood vessels. Some studies suggest that people who regularly eat these kinds of berries may maintain better arterial flexibility. 81-year-old Dorothy has turned eating a small bowl of blueberries every day into a daily ritual, and she says she finds it both delicious and easy to keep up. According to Dorothy, this small habit gives her not just a physical benefit, but also a sense of psychological satisfaction that comes from taking good care of herself. When fresh berries aren't available, it's worth remembering that frozen versions can offer similar nutritional value. In fact, in some cases, frozen berries may retain their nutrients even longer, since they're frozen quickly after harvest. Adding these berries to yogurt, oatmeal, or eating them on their own as a snack can bring both color and flavor to your daily diet while supporting your heart. Interestingly, the darker and more vibrant the color of the berry, the higher its anthocyanin content tends to be. That's why eating a variety of different colored berries together can help you benefit from different types of antioxidants. Choosing these kinds of fruits over sugary desserts can satisfy your sweet tooth while also being a more heart-conscious choice. Number 8. Avocado. Avocado is a fruit rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, potassium, and fiber. Its potassium content is actually higher than that of bananas, the fruit most commonly associated with that mineral, and potassium can contribute to healthy blood pressure balance. At the same time, the healthy fats in avocado offer a nutritional profile that can help balance out bad cholesterol levels. Avocado also contains an antioxidant called lutein, which is often associated with eye health, but is also thought to contribute to broader cellular protection. A thin slice of avocado on toast, a few pieces added to a salad, or half an avocado blended into a smoothie can be a small but effective addition to your daily diet. Because of its calorie density, it's a good idea to eat avocado in moderation, just like other fatty foods, as a way to maintain overall balance. Number 9. Tomatoes. Tomatoes contain a powerful antioxidant called lycopene, which is what gives them their red color. Lycopene is one of the compounds researchers study most often for its potential to support vascular health, and some scientists believe it may play a protective role against oxidative damage. Interestingly, cooked tomatoes in the form of sauce, soup, or tomato paste can actually make it easier for the body to absorb lycopene. That means tomatoes aren't valuable only in raw salads. They're just as valuable in cooked dishes. Tomatoes cooked together with olive oil can create a combination that's beneficial both for flavor and for nutrient absorption. Regularly eating tomatoes as part of an overall balanced diet is a simple and accessible habit that can contribute to heart health. 73-year-old patient Susan enjoys using tomatoes she grows in her own garden, both raw in her salads and in homemade sauces, and she sees it as both an enjoyable hobby and a healthy habit. Choosing tomatoes that are in season and fully ripe tends to give you a more satisfying result, both in terms of flavor and nutritional value. And now we've arrived at the food we promised at the beginning of the video, one that researchers have long debated, but whose full impact isn't widely understood among the general public. Number 10. Garlic. Garlic has a long history of use across many cultures, valued for both its flavor and its health benefits going back thousands of years. The compound it contains, called allicin, is released when garlic is sliced or crushed, and it can support biological processes that help relax blood vessels and regulate blood flow. Some research suggests that regular garlic consumption may have a measurable effect on blood pressure, though the size of that effect can vary from person to person, and it shouldn't be viewed as a treatment on its own. Another interesting aspect of garlic is that it's thought to play a role in cholesterol metabolism as well. Some studies show that regular consumption may contribute to small but consistent changes in total cholesterol levels. 86-year-old patient Charles's doctor recommended he add fresh garlic to his daily meals, and Charles turned it into a simple habit, regularly adding it to soups, sautéed vegetables, and salads. In Charles's own words, this small change has brought him both flavor and peace of mind, because knowing he's doing what he can for his heart makes him feel more secure. Now we can better understand why garlic, compared to the other 9 foods on this list, is described as a silent protector. Its effects tend to show up quietly, slowly, but consistently, and are usually only noticeable with long-term, regular consumption. Looking at these 10 foods one by one, a common message emerges. Heart health isn't fed by one miracle food, but by a varied and balanced diet. The omega-3 in fish, the potassium and nitrates in leafy greens, the soluble fiber in oats, the plant-based protein in legumes, the healthy fats in nuts, the antioxidants in olive oil, the anthocyanins in red berries, the potassium in avocado, the lycopene in tomatoes, and the vascular supporting compounds in garlic. When these all come together, they can offer comprehensive, multi-angle support for your heart. None of these foods is a miracle on its own, but eaten regularly and sustainably, they can become part of a lifestyle that makes a real difference over the long term. Before we wrap up, it's important to remember that no two people are exactly alike. The way your body responds to certain foods depends on your overall health, medications, and individual needs. If you have a chronic medical condition, take blood thinners, or follow a special diet, it's always best to talk with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. For example, foods like garlic and oily fish can interact with certain medications, so getting personalized medical advice is always the safest approach. This video is meant to provide general educational information and should never replace professional medical advice. While the foods we've discussed are supported by scientific research, no single food can guarantee the prevention or treatment of heart disease. A healthy diet is just one piece of the puzzle. Regular exercise, quality sleep, managing stress, and avoiding smoking all play an equally important role in keeping your heart healthy. One of the reasons experts often recommend a Mediterranean-style diet is because research consistently shows that people who follow it tend to experience fewer cardiovascular problems than those who eat a typical Western diet. In some studies, the difference has been as high as 30%. That's a powerful reminder that small, everyday food choices really can have a lasting impact on your health. The truth is, heart health isn't built overnight. It's the result of the choices you make day after day. Something as simple as adding a handful of almonds to your snack, slicing a fresh tomato into your lunch, or cooking with a little garlic might not seem like much today. But over months and years, those small habits can make a meaningful difference. Throughout this video, we've shared stories like Robert's salmon, Margaret's oats, Frank's almonds, Dorothy's blueberries, Susan's tomatoes, and Charles's garlic. They may all be different, but they tell the same story. Taking care of your heart doesn't require perfection. It simply starts with small, consistent choices that become part of everyday life. And remember, you don't have to change everything at once. In fact, trying to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight usually doesn't last. A much better approach is to make one small improvement at a time. Maybe this week you add oats to your breakfast. Next week, you include more leafy greens with lunch. Over time, these simple adjustments become habits, and those habits can lead to lasting results without feeling overwhelming. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which of these 10 heart-friendly foods would be the easiest for you to add to your daily routine? Or is there one that surprised you today? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. We always enjoy hearing from you, and your insights might help someone else who's trying to build healthier habits too. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with a friend or family member who could benefit from it as well. And if you'd like more evidence-based videos on heart health, healthy aging, and simple nutrition tips, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming content. Thanks so much for watching. Wishing you good health and most importantly, a healthy heart for many years to come.